Good morning. Happy Mother's Day, May the 9th, 2021. Beautiful day here. It's only about 6 degrees at the moment, but warming up, and the sun's out, so just sweater weather as I'm walking. Sun's shining, not a cloud in the sky, and nowhere near as much wind as yesterday. I listened to yesterday's walk and there's a lot of wind noise. Not doing anything too exciting today or special. I'm just gonna mosey over into the Lakeview area again. Familiar paths somewhat, although by taking a slightly different path every time, I sometimes go down different streets that I haven't been down before. Hope everyone's having a good Mother's Day. We're doing brunch a little later on. Waffles. Willett waffles, we call them. We had a book given to us of waffle recipes when we first got married as a wedding present. We found one cornmeal waffle recipe that we love, and that's been our default ever since. There's like, I don't know, 50 recipes in that book. We've made about 4 of them over the years, but we always come back to this one. It has a nice texture with the cornmeal in it. So I'll have that, sausages, bacon, usual brunchy things, and maybe a mimosa. Mimosa. That's a fun word to say, mimosa. Always makes me think of the Lion King though. It sounds like a name from the Lion King. Simba, mimosa. I don't know where mimosa comes from, the word. Not the Lion King. Still a podcast day. I got most of the transcript done yesterday. Anna Mossacat is the author. I think that's right. I have to listen to myself say the name because when I see it in writing, I'm not 100% sure pronunciation. It's Mossacat, I'm sure. And she's interesting because she was born in Poland and grew up went to school in Germany, went to film school in Germany, started in film, started writing novels, and was published by a major publisher. Her sort of YA post-apocalyptic dystopian series was published by a major German publisher, and in fact won some of Germany's top awards for science fiction, fantasy kind of books. Then she moved to the States. She lives in Greenville, North Carolina, and she's writing in English now. Behind Blue Eyes is her book, and sounds very interesting, so I will finish that up later. I'll finish the transcript, and then I have to do the webpage and do the intro and outro for the podcast. Just to be fun, I'll climb up the bank here. Onto the dike. Anyway, sometime this afternoon, there will be a new episode of The World Shapers. I've been lining up interviews down the road. I've got Joshua Palmatier, who also known as Benjamin Tate, is a fellow Daw author, and was very helpful to me when I started working on the Kickstarter for Shapers of Worlds. because he has a company called Zombies Need Brains that does original anthologies, and he kickstarts all of those. So he had some real useful advice. And another DAW author I've got coming up is Violet Milan. She has a book coming out in August, so I'll probably talk to her in July. Who else? Well, Jane Yolen, I have an interview with her already done, so she'll be coming up. Yeah, and there's some others. I hesitate to start naming them because I'll forget somebody. But the World Shapers continues, and hopefully after Shapers of Worlds Volume 2, the one I just kickstarted featuring second-year guests, next year hopefully I will kickstart Volume 3 featuring the guests I'm talking to right now and have for the past few weeks, since August is kind of the anniversary of it. Just wait for the... I'm going across, yeah. Show the creek. There it is. Actually, the thing I like least about walking on the weekends is there's more people around. It's not that I'm antisocial, but I'm antisocial. At least when I'm carrying this thing and talking to myself. Oh, here we are in the lovely Lakeview district. Not, I always say that and I think of the Lake District in England, where books I loved as a kid, the Arthur Ransom books, Swallows and Amazons, are set. Some of them. Basically just kids in boats. But I still recommend them. Much beloved in England. And in fact, they've even done... There was a stage version of Swallows and Amazons, and there's been TV and movie versions. But the books are the best. I recommend them. When I was a kid, I actually used my family allowance, which was $10 a month the government gave per kid to families. $10 a month to help raise kids. And they just gave me that as my allowance, my parents did. And I saved up and ordered the Swallows and Amazons books, one at a time, I think, from Jonathan Cape, which is the publisher in England. Through Kimpton's stationery and bookstore in Weyburn. And I have the complete set in hardcover. Some of the dust jackets have gone missing. I should have laminated them at some point. And I read them all to my daughter. So she was quite taken with sailing too at one point, and on a trip out to BC when my brother lived in West Vancouver, we actually arranged for a sailboat tour around, take us out into English Bay, and surprised her with it. She knew we were just having a picnic, and I think she was wondering why we were having it in such a not very interesting park down by the water. And then I said, oh, there's that sailboat. Why don't we go on board? She said, can we? And then she found out we were actually going sailing on it. That pleased her greatly, which pleased me greatly. But but that was at the height of our swallows and Amazons period. Read aloud every night for years, all the way through Harry Potter, all the way through The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, all the way through Swallows and Amazons, and many other books. Still read aloud. I read to my wife during supper because our kitchen is not conducive to two people. That, by the way, was Lakeview School over there. Lakeview United Church coming up on the right, where we've often rehearsed. Our kitchen's too small for both of us to work on supper at the same time, so I read while she cooks. And we've gotten through a lot of books that way. Quite a few huge non-fiction books like Hamilton, the book that the musical's based on, biography of Alexander Hamilton, or 1919, post-World War stuff. Currently reading Jean Kerr, because when I was a kid I loved the book Please Don't Eat the Daisies, and we actually saw the movie, and reading the books. She had 2 or 3 collections of shorter pieces, all of them. She used to write columns. She wrote plays too, and even a musical. Her husband was Walter Kerr, who was one of the major theater critics in New York. So we've been reading through that, which has been fun. They're all from the 60s and 70s, but they stand up pretty well. A few topical references that I'm not sure I get anymore, but many I do because I'm so old. There's Lakeview United Church. It is Sunday. So we rehearse in the basement there quite often. Not this last show, which just went yesterday and Friday, yesterday, and today, I guess, are the 3 opportunities to see it. You can still get tickets for the afternoon. I think it's 1:30. I think the tickets remain on sale till an hour before. If you go to reginalyric.com, and it's some really great performances of Broadway music. Everybody shot it themselves, and it was assembled later. It wasn't the original plan, but that's how it worked out. The thing that makes it different is that they're all gender swapped, so they're men singing women's songs and vice versa. So my wife and I did a duet where she took the man's part and I took the woman's part, and our daughter did a song that's usually sung by a man. And then I did a quartet where I did all 4 women's parts. And still being good and not giving away what that is, even though it's been on twice now. But once today's over with, I will post recordings of all of those right here on my YouTube channel. You'll be able to watch them if you so desire. Speaking of YouTube, if you're there, walking alive with me, leave me a note so I know I'm not out here by myself. Well, I am by myself, but not. Perhaps virtually I have accompaniment. And if you're on Facebook, same thing. Yesterday's live stream, I had to stop and restart halfway through because YouTube lost it. Fortunately, I saw the message that said that it had failed, so I restarted a new feed. And actually had a couple of viewers of the second half of that weren't there for the first half. But if you are there watching live, let me know. I can respond. I usually have to stop and find a shady place so I can read. So I'm not wearing my reading glasses as I walk. Modern one on that corner. House, that is. It's quite pleasant with the sun. I was worried I'd be a little chilly to start with, but not particularly. quiet out here. There'll be lots of people out walking around, but they're mostly down by the creek and the lake. I will drive over, park sort of where I did last week before I walked to the university, and then walk over to the science center. I'm going to do that one of these days, maybe next weekend. Go out to the science center and on around up to Douglas Park, and there's a big hill over there, all landfill, a natural hill, and it was made bigger when they did the big dig. And we are on Montague, Elphinstone, Argyle. It's very confusing the way those three streets get renamed, but they all seem to be one street. This works well. This will take us down to Hill Avenue, and we'll walk through the little Hill Avenue shopping centers. We keep zigzagging. Just kind of zigzag out so it looks like I'm about half done, and then I'll zigzag home again. So, going back to Flip the Script, I highly recommend it. We enjoyed it a lot. Some really good performances, including ours, if I do say so myself. And yeah, reginalyric.com. You can still get tickets up until an hour before, and I think they've got the matinee set for 1:30. It might be 2, but I think it's 1:30. I think we can risk jaywalking here. So, a grocery store here, Lakeview Fine Foods. One of the few independent grocery stores still around. I think it's independent still. 7-Eleven over there, and that pointy roof belongs to St. Luke's Anglican Church, where we've also rehearsed, not in the church, but in the fellowship hall, which is just past 7-Eleven there. Years ago, we used to rehearse there a lot. Everything closed here, but this is the little Hill Avenue shopping area. Lakeview Foods, Lakeview Hair and Aesthetics, Hill Avenue Drugs, COVID-19 vaccines coming soon. We're waiting for our second shots. This is Brewed Awakening, Pearl River Kitchen, Chinese cuisine, kitchen gear. We've often bought stuff in there. And Advanced Denture Clinic, Invu, not actually sure what that is, and Houston Pizza, Coco Nail Lounge. Don't walk into the planters while looking at the stores. Skate sharpening and knife sharpening, also in the nail lounge. Is that a separate business? And then there's a little gas station here in the corner. Getting across streets is easy on Sunday morning. I keep zigzagging this way a little further. I don't know if I'll get as far as Pasco this time. That's still a long way, and it is Mother's Day. I don't want to be out an hour and a half like I was last Sunday. Oh, fog. I haven't even done 20 minutes yet, so do probably another 5-10 minutes going away before I reverse course. Start heading back. Oh, so there's St. Luke's Anglican and the fellowship hall where we used to rehearse. I remember rehearsing the Fantastics in there years ago. I played El Gallo. It was the second time I'd played El Gallo. I'd done it in an earlier production. And usually it's two fathers, but this time it was two mothers. AJ Hendry and my wife played the mothers. So that was fun. And the boy was played by Wayne Gwillim, who was, you know, just sort of heading off to university or something at the time, but is now, has been at least, I'm not sure where he is right now, but he has been at Shaw Festival as a music director. It was a fun production. I've always liked playing Argyle the two times I've done him. He was one of my favorite roles. Try to remember, that's his song. A kind of September. Not the right kind of song for May, though. It's May, the lusty month of May is a better one from Camelot. Camelot, Camelot. I know it sounds a bit bizarre. Show I've always wanted to be in. Regina Summer Stage did it, but I haven't done Summer Stage in years because, you know, it's the summer and had a family, and it seemed more important to do vacations and things than a show in the summer. So I haven't performed nearly as much in the last few years as I did in the years before that, when I used to be doing something all the time. And you know, once things get back, well, I can play older parts now. I'm unlikely to get to the young love interest. I never did. I was always a character actor. Road closed. All right, we're not going that way anyway. Ah, here's the park. Well, that works well. Walk up here a little bit. There's a house that's really cool. I think it's on this bend. Yes, it is one of the new ones, but quite a spectacular one. With a great location with the view out over the park there. There's a fence around it now. Hard to see, but there it is. Let's get better past the fence, I guess. Yeah, it's a nice one. Too close to it to show it completely, but I'll probably cross over to the park here in a minute. I'll be able to turn around and show it better. Alright, I'll go over to the park. So if we turn around, it's quite the house. I'd love to see inside it. We'll keep walking up this way a little bit and then we'll start our trek back. Haven't had any hellos from anybody on Facebook or YouTube. If you're there, let me know. Haven't had any unstable internet connection warnings either, so as far as I know, the feed is working just fine for once. If you're on Facebook in particular, I always like to be reassured that there's sound, because there's 2 walks, there's been no sound. And it's a Facebook problem, it's not a me problem, as far as I can tell. All right, we'll take this path and quit going south. Still going east for a bit. Sorry, west. Looks like a spray park. I was don't know where there was one there though. Almost missed a step there. Gotta watch my feet. Okay, I know where I am. I've been here before. Across the footbridge. I think, rather than walk on this side. Technically though, the path is on this side. That's okay. We'll cross the footbridge. Then turn around and start going. Oh, well, there's Roger. Smooth and with sound. Good. Maybe the internet thing is just too many people using the internet, using their cell phones when I'm out on a morning shortly after or during commute time. All right. This is not a natural part of the creek, as you can probably tell from the ruler straight line of the water. Over here it bends. Still, we'll call it the creek. It's probably really better known as a drainage ditch, but creek sounds better. And we will go this way. Now sort of starting to wind our way back. Woof, woof. Somewhere up here is the Regina community garden, which I got turned around in a couple of weeks ago and thought I was entering a different garden. I was actually entering the same one twice from different directions and ended up doing a circle. They were just doing something there. So if that is up here where I think it is, let's see if we can find that. Always a little bit more green in the trees, but not fully leafed out yet. We could use some rain to green up the grass. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to water my grass. We don't have very much grass, not very good grass in the front yard. It's very shady, and with renovations a few years ago, having, you know, bins and temporary walkways and things over the grass did in some of what was there. But still try to green up what we have. Oh, ducks. Oh, that gazebo there, that's brand new. That's what I was reading about. Wasn't there when I walked through here a couple of weeks ago. So let's go check it out. It's very pretty. Another church over here, St. Mark's Lutheran Church. Road closed. I saw the road closed sign down at the other end of this work. There we go, Regina Community Garden. Don't step in the trench. See, they're putting something in the ground there. You know, that's a Vic Sikansky image there. So people are starting to garden now. Last time I was through here, they certainly weren't. Every tree and bush here belongs to a gardener. There's a statue of a cat over there, probably to try to keep birds away, and an owl too. So this is new. This gazebo here was not here the last time I came through. And I think Sikansky, the artist, had something to do with its design as well. It certainly looks like him. There you go. So it has leaf cutouts along the edge, and then the pillars are trees. And then down here you have various vegetables. Tomatoes, peas. Very lovely. It's been built just since I was down here 2 weeks ago, which is kind of cool. Okay, let's not do what I did last time I was down here and make a circle back through the same garden. Now I should show it again. Nice centerpiece for the community garden here. Ground's not entirely level. And the path here for a little bit, although it runs out pretty quick. As usual, there's a song running through my head. Today it's "I'll be working my way back to you," which often comes to mind when I say something like, "And from here we'll be working our way back home." And it gets stuck in my head. So I'll follow that car to the right. Takes us back in the direction we want to go. Over this bridge. I believe that's the ouch. Is that the Lakeview Par 3 over there, maybe? Okay, now the key here is not to do a big circle like I did 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so there's Pasqua Street, and that's Par 3. I walked along over on that side last weekend, I think, but today we'll go this way. Although we do want to cross the street, I think, or do we? Actually, we probably don't. I'll probably have to cross back the other way. That's okay. For some reason, it's decided to point off in weird directions. There we go. So I know at least one person has seen this on Facebook. If anybody's on YouTube, check in. Let me know you're there. Heading home now. Starting to head home. How long have I been out? 35 minutes. Yeah, it'll be at least an hour. I thought it was going to be shorter, but oh well. It's a lovely morning. And I started pretty early for a Sunday. It's only 9:15. I've lost the knack of sleeping in, if I ever had it. By 7 o'clock, I'm usually thinking, I should get up. I'd like to go back to sleep, but I can't, so I guess I'll get up. Doesn't help that it's getting light now, before 5. And the birds are chirping like crazy about, I don't know, 4 or 3:30 or something they start. So if you wake up, there's additional noise and light. Yeah, I'm on Hill Avenue, so this will just take me back. This is definitely taking me in the way I want to go. Not lost this time. And there's the church over there that we walked by before, so I'll zig to the left just so I don't completely retrace my steps. Once I get across the street. Oh, that's a different church. Not quite as far as I thought we were yet. Maybe not even a church. Definitely a church. Much smaller one than a fire hall right next to it. That's handy. I know where we are now. So there's the park that we walked through. Is down to our right. Not right here quite, but this is a Seventh-day Adventist church over here, and I'm not sure what that lovely little building over there, what church that is. I like the building though. We'll work our way up toward Regina Avenue by turning down Kings Road. Nice and quiet here. Well, having said that, I hear a jet taking off. Airport's off to my left. Not that far. On we go, closer to home all the time, more or less. Oof. Oof. The bushes seem to be leafing out faster than the trees. See how lovely this will be once the trees are all green. And as I like to point out, every tree in Regina, no matter where it is, was probably planted by someone. There's probably a few that have sprung up from all the other trees that are around, but in general, every tree was planted. And back when I was at the city as a communications officer, the number was 250,000 or something trees. Don't know that anybody's counted them precisely. It's probably an estimate. And Regina's grown since then, because that was mid-90s, so I'm sure there's more trees now than there were then. All the new developments. Crunch. There's Argyle. Yeah, so there's the church down there. St. Luke's Anglican. Going up Argyle will take us past the Orthodox Church, where we have often gotten Christmas baking. They have a big bake sale every Christmas, and we've often gotten baklava. Not to be confused with the balaclava. Oof, oof, oof. Okay, this will be an hour walk, at least. I actually thought it was shorter. Oh well. There's coffee waiting for me when I get home, and in a couple of hours we'll be doing our Mother's Day brunch. Okay, I'm going to zig to the right again to stick to my guns, so I won't actually go by the church down there, but there it is. I've come by this modern house over here on the left on a few other walks. This takes us back down towards, I won't take the footbridge this time. Well, I will, but I'm not going down Regina Avenue to the footbridge. I don't think the way this will work out. I'll probably walk through Waterfall Park again, which I like to do. Well, let's walk down an alley just for a change of pace. The white thing way down at the end is Mosaic Stadium, home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders of the Canadian Football League, who are making draft picks and stuff like that and expect to be playing this fall. How full the stands will be allowed to be, I guess we don't know yet. The way vaccinations are going, we should be back to normal by then, but I'm not sure. Don't get me started. The blue bins are recycle bins. The brown are garbage, just in case you're ever asked. Oh, there's my first unstable internet connection. I knew there was a bad spot down this way. I was hoping to avoid it today. Well, hopefully YouTube hangs on to the end. Okay, I'll take this alley. So this is McCallum, where the Lakeview United Church that I walked by at the start of the walk is. Looks like my signal has come back. Didn't like the alley. Guess that's a good reason not to walk down alleys. Ooh. You can see down McCallum. Actually, this might bring me out to the footbridge, so maybe I will be going back across there. It's a little more direct. Still haven't had any greetings from YouTube yet. If anybody's watching, let me know you're there. On this beautiful Mother's Day morning, here in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. Queen City of the Plains. It's right there in the name, Regina. It should be Regina, but what the hey. I'll cross here because I actually have a light. Even though nobody's coming. That's a outdoor skating rink, not in use. Fortunately, although it still could frost at night, it was probably around 0 last night, or maybe even a little below. Not going to be able to freeze an outdoor rink for, 6 months if we're lucky. 5 if we're not. 4 if we're really not. No, I don't think we'd be able to freeze it in September, but we can certainly get snow in September. We could still get snow in May. I've seen it as late as Victoria Day weekend, which is still 2 weeks away. Or is it 3? No, I think it's 2 weeks away. Hopefully not. That's very disappointing when you get one that late. That big modern house I've often pointed out on these walks. I'm going to cut across the grass and save a few steps. It's an interesting one, that. I'd like to see inside it too. Pointed them out a few times, the weird traffic control island in the middle of the intersections on this street, and maybe some on another one. They do slow you down, I guess, but they're odd. Certainly not decorative. If they put a tree on them, they'd be decorative, but then people wouldn't be able to see anybody coming, so that would be bad. So there's something left over from a very long time ago, and I keep expecting them to tear them out. Maybe they're waiting for them to fall apart naturally, like the curb on that one is gone on one side. Almost back to Regina Avenue, and then already we'll be close to the footbridge. Running short on time to say hi if you're watching live. Yesterday, not only did the feed fail on YouTube, so I had to stitch it together afterwards from the recording, I posted it, and then later in the day I accidentally deleted it. So all the links I put on Facebook and Twitter and so forth to yesterday's walk are no good anymore. But there's a new walk coming up, so I won't bother going back and posting new ones. I do pick up a few viewers that way, but I don't have a lot of viewers no matter what I do. Don't know why. I think I'm fascinating. And Regina's pretty. Should be interesting to people from all over the world who haven't seen it before. And I do get people following me from all over the world. There's someone in India that's checked in pretty regularly, and there's been some from the States and some from I don't know where, because they don't tell me, but I know they're there. We'll either go down to the crosswalk or we'll jaywalk, depends on what traffic looks like. We can jaywalk after the police go by. They didn't turn around and come after me with sirens going, so I guess I'm okay. Maybe you can hear the woodpecker over there. There's the river, is just over there. I don't very often walk down Regina Avenue itself because it's so long and straight and not very interesting for large chunks of it. Here's our friend the footbridge. As I said, it sounds like a children's book. Your friend, the footbridge. Morning. Probably pretty close to exactly an hour when I get home. Be a minute or two over. If I'm reading that time right, it's on there. There's the creek. Morning. Let's take the ramp down just to be more interesting. Check in on the progress of this big house they've been working on all the time I've been walking. Gone by it several times now. Definitely taking up 2 lots. There would have been 2 smaller houses there for sure. It's a big one. And lots of new houses going up in this neighborhood since I lived here, which I did on the next street over, Garnet Street, when I first moved to this neighborhood. Up a block from here, well, almost a whole block from here, 1 street over to the left, was my old house. This one I can't make head or tail out of. It seems to have no windows. It's like somebody who really doesn't want to present a friendly face on the street. Nice garden in there. Another modern one here. And over there. All grown since, not grown, built since I was here. One street over. Mostly we had these little houses, and still lots of them around. But the neighborhood has certainly gone up. As far as houses go, as you can see here, 4 in a row. These row houses. Condos now, I think. I presume that's how the building is organized. Two more blocks to go. Big one there, I pointed out before. And in that one, and some others in this neighborhood. Either friends live in some of them, or I've been in that one over there too. Or I was interviewing somebody who lived there, or it was on the Davin School home tour where people open up their homes and people get to tour them as a fundraiser for the school. One block to go, last chance to say hi before I wrap up here. If you're watching live, I hope you've enjoyed a stroll through Regina, portion of Regina, small portion of Regina. And if you're watching the recording, well, ditto. I still hope you've enjoyed this stroll through a small portion of Regina. Lovely Sunday morning, sunny Sunday morning, Mother's Day, 2021. And very soon I'll be making waffles to celebrate. Okay, here comes the stop sign where we always stop. There's actually somebody by the stop sign, so maybe I'll stop a little bit sooner here. All right, there's the stop sign. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow.